In this video, I want to talk about leadership and mental health. Actually, I don't just want to talk about leadership and mental health, but I'm here to remind you of something that we often forget. Behind every single email, behind every single meeting, behind every deadline, there's a person. One with struggles, with fears, and a silent battle that we may never see. Let me share a story. When I first started my career, I worked with a man, let's call him Bob. Bob was the kind of employee that every leader dreams of. Dedicated, hardworking, a great team player. He's smart, funny, energetic, and kind. But beneath that strong exterior, Bob was fighting a battle none of us saw. A year later, he got laid off from his job, and then he found another job. I also heard that he went through a divorce. So I sent him a few messages, but didn't get any response. So I moved on and didn't think much about it. A few years later, I received the news that he has committed suicide. I wish I sent him more messages. I wish I picked up the phone and called him and asked how he was doing. But it was too late. Bob's story is not unique. In every company, in every organization, there are people just like him. Brilliant, driven, and silently struggling. Some of them recover, and some never get the chance. As leaders, we are responsible for more than result. We're responsible for the people who make those results happen. Think about that for a second. We measure profit, we measure efficiencies, we measure performance. But how often do we measure the well-being of the people who make those things happen? I have another friend recently handed her resignation. No warning, no complaint, just a quiet, I can't do this anymore. Her manager was shocked. Why didn't you say anything? And my friend's answer is because I didn't think anyone cared. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. She quit because it wasn't because of the workload. It wasn't because of the deadline. It was the silence. We often assume that when people need help, they will ask. But the reality is most people don't. And not because they don't want help, but it's because they don't feel safe enough to ask. And that's not their failure. That's the leadership failure. At the end of the day, people don't burn out because of hard work. They burn out because they feel alone in it. As leaders, we must create an environment where it's okay to say I'm struggling. We must create an environment where mental health is not a weakness, but a priority. Imagine a workplace where people don't just survive, but thrive, where no one feels alone in their struggle. And the future is possible, but it starts with us. It starts with you. So today when you go home, ask yourself, have I created a space where my team feels safe enough to speak up? And tomorrow when you walk into the office, don't just ask, how's work? Ask, how are you? And if they say, I'm fine, then ask again. Because leadership isn't just about how well your team performs. It's also about how well they live. Leadership isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It isn't about being the person with the highest authority. It's about being the person that people feel safe and trust enough to say, I need help. And that is what real leadership looks like.